This meeting is being recorded.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्त देहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः उकारस्वन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकार निरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्तिविधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णे विशृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्ट्वागुंसस्तनूभिः विषेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो नमः ॐ प्रज्ञानां शुभप्रदानैः स्थिरचर निकर व्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पुनरपि दिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः मायासङ्ख्यातुरीयम् परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि तदेतत् सुषुप्तं स्थानमस्येति सुषुप्तस्थानः स्थानद्वयप्रविभक्तं मनस्पन्दितं द्वैतजातं तथा रूपापरित्यागेन अविवेक आपन्नं नैषतमोग्रस्तमिव अहप्रपञ्चकम् एकीभूतम् इति उच्यते। अतः एव स्वप्न जाग्रन् मनस्पन्दनानि प्रज्ञानानि घनीभूतानिव सा इयमवस्था अविवेकरूपत्वात् प्रज्ञानघनः उच्यते। यथा रात्रौ नैषेन तमसा अविभज्यमानं सर्वं घनमिव तद्वत् प्रज्ञानघनः एव शब्दात् न जात्यन्तरं प्रज्ञानव्यतिरेकेन अस्ति इत्यर्थः। मनसः विषयविषय्याकारस्पन्दन आयासदुःखाभावात् आनन्दमयः आनन्दप्रायः न आनन्दः एव अनात्यन्तिकत्वात्। यथा लोके निरायासस्थितः सुखी आनन्दभुक् उच्यते, अत्यन्त अनायासरूपा हि इयं स्थितिः अनेन अनुभूयते इति आनन्दभुक् येषोऽस्य परम आनन्दः इति श्रुतेः। स्वप्नादि प्रतिबोध चेतः प्रति द्वारीभूतत्वात् चेतोमुखः बोधलक्षणं वा चेतः द्वारमुखमस्य स्वप्नादि आगमनं प्रति इति चेतोमुखः भूतभविष्यत् ज्ञातृत्वं सर्वविषय ज्ञातृत्वम् अस्य एव इति प्राज्ञः सुषुप्तोऽपि हि भूतपूर्वगत्या प्राज्ञः उच्यते। अथवा प्रज्ञप्तिमात्रम् अस्यैव इति असाधारणं रूपम् इति प्राज्ञः। इतरयोः विशिष्टमपि विज्ञानमस्ति। सः अयं प्राज्ञः तृतीयः पादः। I think we saw this fully. So let's go to the येष सर्वेश्वरः येष सर्वज्ञः येषोऽन्तर्यामी येषः योनिः सर्वस्य प्रवाप्ययो हि भूतानाम्. Okay, I think this is where we stopped. So let's just go back a little bit for the sake of continuity. So the Shastra spoke about three states, the three padas. Jagaritastana, Swapnasthana, and Sushuptasthana. The three states in which you are available. You are available, you obtain in these three states with the different kinds of experiences. But it is the same person, same entity, which obtains in these three states of experience. So those three states are being looked at to see what obtains there. Manasaha Vishayakara Spandana Ayasa Dukkha Bhavat Anandamayaha is Prajnana Ghana. So Prajnana Ghana is looked upon as Ananda Swarupa, Anandamayaha. I keep getting some pop-ups. And just before this, Bhashyakara said, Eva Shabdat na jati antaram prajnana vyatirekena asti. There is nothing other than the prajna, where in the deep sleep, other than the awareness alone, there is nothing else. When you say nothing else, means there are no objects that you are objectifying, like the sky, the stars, the moons, the moon, the objects in the body, the emotion, nothing. No other classification exists. All that exists is prajna alone, that awareness. That's it. Everything else is dark. Deep sleep we are talking about, not the dream. How do you say when there is no other jati, how do you say that prajna alone is there? When that prajna alone is there, I am not knowing it in tatkala. In the deep sleep, when I am having deep sleep, at that time I am not able to recognize that I am prajna alone. Only bhuta purvagatya samsmriti rupena, in the vacant state, I am able to relate to the other two states and say that I slept, I had a dream. But then that connectivity is there. There is a smriti, memory is there. Even though, because there is no buddhi at that time, that buddhi upadhi is not there in deep sleep. Therefore, there is no vritti atmaka jnanam. There is no vritti. The vritti only gives you the subject-object experience. But since in deep sleep there is no vritti, because the buddhi is not available, you are not having a vritti. So within the vritti only time is there. Within the vritti only objects are there. Within the vritti only emotions are there. But if there is no vritti, it is only sakshi pratyaksha, witness perception. And that perception is ganibhuta, because there is no sequence to it. There is no time lapse. You don't, within that gani, within the darkness that you are perceiving in deep sleep, You don't perceive as in, okay, for some time I have perceived, deeper darkness. Now I am seeing lesser darkness. Not like that. It is one ghana. That's it. You just get in, get out. But you say that I slept well for a long time. So there is a subtle perception that there is a big lapse. Sometimes you don't even feel that you slept for a long time. But so it's not exactly time perception. It's a witness perception. But the fact that it was joyful, it was for a length of time, is inferred when you wake up. Therefore, eva shabdat na jati antaram prajnana vyatirekena asti. Other than prajna, nothing else is there, including time, space. Forget objects. Objects are obviously not there, but even time, space recognition of self itself is not there. Therefore, you need to understand the jnanam of self also is not atma guna. That is also within vritti only. The atma jnanam also is vritti atmakam. Swarupa alone is always there. The ajnana is vritti. Jnanam also is vritti. So what is there in deep sleep is the swarupa. And that swarupa actually is there in all three states. That is why there is a continuity of the experiences. Therefore, jati antaram prajnana vyatirekena nasti. That is why the eva shabda is used. Alone, prajnana ghana eva. The ghana alone is there. That prajnana ghana, that prajna alone obtains in the deep sleep. Manasaha vishaya vishayi akara spandana ayasa dukkha bhavat. Is it swarupa ananda that you are getting? In this case, no, because there is no vritti nor there is jnanam which has happened. So it is avyakrita ajnana which is there. Therefore, it is not a swarupa ananda, but there is a vishaya vishayi akara spandana ayasa dukkha absence. Because that prajna is not spinning experiences when it is sleeping. Otherwise, it is spinning experiences. It is spinning experiences, and that there are two parts to it. It's the same Chaitanya Vastu which is having all these experiences. Some are created by this own mind. Some are created in the larger context by the Ishvara Upadhi, which is Maya. Maya shows you the world. Avidya makes inferences, makes conclusions which are many times erroneous. That is another world which is spun. So there are two worlds, Ishvara Srishti, Jiva Srishti. We saw that in the last class. So the suns, all the stars, moon, the earth, the common experiences is all Ishvara Srishti. And my value attribution to all of them is Jiva Srishti. And both together is what is there in the Vakan. And the ayasa is not because of Ishvara Srishti. Because Ishvara Srishti can be a matter of enjoyment if you are fully relaxed. You just see what is going on, just enjoying. But it is the Jiva Srishti which creates all kinds of problems. But both are spun on this Chaitanyam. It is ayasa, the tiredness which is created because of the spinning of these two Srishtis. That is absent. Therefore, in deep sleep, it is Anandaha. Why are you saying Anandaha eva, but it is Anandamaya? It is not Swarupananda itself because Anatyantikatvat, na atyanta, not there till the end. It is only for a temporary period of time. If it is your Swarupa and it is recognized, then it is there forever. Until this Buddhi Vritti is there, that Ananda is there. This Buddhi is gone, anyway it is the Swarupa. There is no need for this dukkha. Removal is needed only for this Buddhi. Swarupataha Atma is Atma, it is Ananda. There is no possibility of any dukkha. So once the body falls, the mind goes. Anyway, Swarupa is there by itself. Because you will not, the reason I'm saying, a thought will come, what if the mind is gone? Then how will that Ananda happen? Because all the Ananda is in the Vritti only, it is Jnana only which is creating. Therefore I'm saying, once the body is gone also, Swarupa is Swarupa. There is no dukkha possible in Swarupa. And Shastra says there is no rebirth also. Therefore, the moment a person is a jnani, from that point there is no point. It's a point of no return. It is Ananda only all the way. Therefore, it is na atyantika. This one is anatyantika. Therefore, deep sleep is not Brahmananda. That's what it says. Yatha loke, Bhashikara says that. Yatha loke nirasaya stitaha sukhi ananda bhukuchyate. This we saw. Atyanta anayasa rupa hi yam stitihi anena anubhuyate iti ananda bhuk. It's like that Sethji, we said, right? Who is there just witnessing everything, enjoying what is going on around. That kind of a state. Because it doesn't care. In deep sleep, there's no botheration. It just relaxed. There's no spinning of anything. Yeshosya parama anandaha iti shrutehe swapnadi pratibodha chetah pratidvari bhutatva cheto mukaha. So this we saw 2 classes before itself. Bodha lakshanam va chetaha dvaram mukhamasya swapnadi agamanam pratiti cheto mukaha bhuta bhavishyat jagritvam jnatritvam sarva vishaya jnatritvam asyeva iti prajnaha. Okay, it's why is it called prajna? Because bhuta bhavishyat jnatritvam sarva vishaya jnatritvam asyeva. It is the same Nyapti Swarupa which is in deep sleep, which comes to waken and then recognizes what is the past, what is the future, what is the present, everything in past, present and future. What obtains always is prajna. This whatever obtains in the deep sleep alone obtains in waken and dream. Everything else that you see in waken and dream are mithya. That is what it is. Any incidental is mithya. You have to recognize that. That is the tatparya here. A clay is what is a lump of clay. That is what becomes a semi-made pot. It is the same clay which is a full-blown pot. It is the same clay which is a destroyed pot. And it is the same clay which is again a lump of clay. So it went through all this change of states without losing its nature of being clay. So it was clay, it is clay, it will be clay. Everything else was an incidental thing. Clayness alone never went away. So when you see the lump, that is when, if you see the lump, then only you can recognize that it is what is clay. If you always see only pot, it is difficult to recognize what it is, right? Therefore, here also, look at the deep sleep, prajnana ghana. It is like the lump of clay. Because it's ghana, there is no shape and form. It's just lying there. That's what is the material. And that clay alone is the pot now. Similarly, that prajnana ghana only is the vacant experience So all the sun and moon and the world and the mountains and everything is spun where? On the same Prajnana Ghana. Like the pot in the clay, the whole world is in Prajna. It is a Prajna which is there in the form of this. Because anything that you are seeing in the vacant, can it be away from Prajna? Is it away from Prajna? Is there anything, any part of it which is away from Prajna? Which is other than Prajna? No. When I say there is sun here, there is wall here, the wall is but nothing but wall Prajna. Sun is sun Prajna. Space is space Prajna. Time is time Prajna. Memory is memory Prajna. Emotion is emotion Prajna. Expectation is expectation Prajna. Eye cognition is eye cognition Prajna. So is there anything which is non-Prajna? No. So Prajna pervades every experience. Like the clay pervades everything in a pot world, clay world. How did you know it is only clay? Because you saw it in lump form. If you only see pots and lids and other things, you won't even know what is the substance. Because you saw the lump, you know it is what is pot, what is lid, what is jar, is nothing but that lump. Similarly, that's why Shastra here says it is this Jnapti. Bhuta Bhavishya Jnatritvam Sarva Vishaya Jnatritvam Asyaiva iti Prajna. Everything is this Prajna only. Of this only. Sushuptopi hi Bhuta Purvagatya Prajna Uchyade. So even in deep sleep, as a witness it is Prajna, but even what is there only was obtaining. So you are saying it is Prajna because from the waken you are able to recognize that there was a witness perception in the deep sleep. Atava prajnapti matram asyaive sadharanam rupam iti prajnyaha asadharanam rupam. Asadharanam rupam means that which is uniquely descriptive of the state of anything. Like we saw, no, Goho Sasnadimatvam. The cow having the flap, that which has the flap is the cow, means it is the unique nature, Lakshana of a cow. Lakshana means that which defines, that which distinguishes it from everything else. And that which distinguishes an object from, that is how you define, that is a definition. It should not fall on anything else. Suppose I say that which is bright is the sun, that which is luminous is the sun. That is not correct because moon is also luminous, other stars are luminous, so many other things, even tube light is luminous. That is called Ativyapti. That definition goes beyond the sun. The brightest star that is visible from the earth is the sun, suppose I say, then it is a definition. It's an asadharana rupam. Asadharanam rupam for what? Prajnapti matram asyaiva. It alone is only prajnapti, nothing else. There is no other jati. That is the clear definition of the deep sleep. Therefore, it is called prajna. Is another explanation he gives. Lakshita vyapakatve sati lakshita vyapyatvam asadharanatvam is what Tarka is how Tarkikas define. That which you are trying to define, that is Lakshita. Okay. Lakshita is the thing that you are trying to define. What are you trying to define here? Deep sleep. So what pervades the deep sleep, and deep sleep pervades what nature? That is what is called the asadharana rupa of the deep sleep. Therefore, prajnapti pervades the jnapti, the awareness state pervades the deep sleep, and deep sleep state pervades this. Therefore, it is the deep sleep and this prajnapti are one and the same. So the prajnaha definition fits only this. Therefore, that may be why it is called prajnaha. So the two options he gives. Itarayoho visishtam api vijnanamasti saha ayam prajnaha tritiyah padaha. Okay, the Vishesha Vijnana of dream and waken is Visishta by Prajnapti, qualified. So that is the third pada, which is called the deep sleep. And that Prajnapti alone pervades the waken and dream. Yeshaha Sarveshwaraha Upanishad Vakya. It is the Sarveshwara. It is the one which is Ishita, Sarvasya Ishita, that which governs everything. Because it is what is Sarvam. All the Upadhi also is on it. So we have to see what it is, the material, and it is also the intelligence. The material comes from the Swarupa, which is Jnapti alone. The awareness, consciousness is the material, because there is nothing else that is touched, perceived, other than the Jnapti. Like we saw moon prajna, moon Jnaptihi, moon jnanam, moon awareness, sun awareness, like that. Awareness pervades. So it is the material, because the material pervades the objects. The karana pervades the karya. The effect is always pervaded by the cause as materially. Now, what is the intelligence or incidental costs? That is a vritti only. This Maya or Avidya, whether it is Ishvara Srishti or Jiva Srishti, the fact that there is a creation that is perceived needs an intelligence, and also, see, when something is created, it needs what? A sankalpa. So kamayata, someone has to decide that I will create. So sankalpa should be there. Wanting to create should be there. And actively there should be a creation and then resolution. All this is needed. These are all vrittiyatmakam only. All this vrittis materially are supported by awareness, but the will to create, the intent to create, and all that is also dependent on awareness, but that is where Ishvara comes into play. That Ishvara is what? Materially the same Jnaptihi alone. So the material cause is the same. Therefore, Sarveshwaraha, the Sarveshwara is pervaded by the Jnapti alone. So that is what so when we understand, we don't understand ourselves, recognize ourselves as Ishvara, because that Upadhi is different. Our Upadhi is different. But Swarupataha, materially, ultimately, what is the substance? It is Jnaptihi alone. It's the same Jnaptihi reflected through the Maya Upadhi. Is Sarveshwaraha. It is the same Prajnaptihi reflected through the Avidya Jivatvam, this Buddhi, Alpajnaha, and all that is the Jiva. Yesha Sarveshwaraha, Yesha Sarvajnaha. It is the Sarvajna. This Prajna is Sarvajna. Because this Prajnana Ghana only obtains in dream and deep dream and vacant state as the material, as everything that is there in vacant, everything that is there in dream is known through by this Jnapti. This Jnapti only, see, Upadhi may be different. See, the Sarvajna we have to understand. Ishvara knows the detail of everything. What is there, how many life forms are there, what should this ant do today, what should it get, what should this mosquito get, all that karma pala, who does what, who gains what experience, what one should get, everything needs a samashti upadhi, which is Maya upadhi. That is that's inconceivable nature of Ishvara, that upadhi. In our mind, we cannot even understand that fully, because it's just upadhi of a different scale. We don't even know how many stars are there, how many galaxies are there, nothing we know. And even it's not even conceivable, because it needs an upadhi which is different from that. Upadhi has to pervade, and it should have an intelligence which is enormous. It should think of galaxies. It should think of, if a life has to survive in the earth, so many planets and galaxies have to behave in a particular way. If one moves in a few degrees here and there in a wrong way, there will be, the whole thing will collapse. It is that kind of a balance which is there in the whole Srishti, and it should have a huge intelligence, Upadhi. And when we say this Prajnana Ghana is Sarveshwara, Sarvajna, doesn't mean that it has that Upadhi, but as a Jiva I have that Upadhi. No. That Ishvara Upadhi is Ishvara Upadhi. And that Sarvajnatvam is knowing all the details. But in knowing all the details, what is the content of that? That also is Jnapti only. As Ishvara Upadhi, the Sarvajnatvam needs that Jna, that Prajna. And the source of that Prajna is the same. What is the source for my Jiva Upadhi to know limited things around me? That same source only is the content of Ishvara Sarvajnatvam. So being the same content, that what is that content? This Prajnana Ghana only. Whatever is this Prajnaha is what is the content of the Sarvajna and Sarveshwara. Therefore, Yesha Sarveshwara, Yesha Sarvajnaha, Yeshaha Antaryami, Antastishtan Yamayati. What is the innermost in anything is Jnapti only. The Jnapti Swarupa only is the Antaryami, is the indwelling, is the content of everything that goes on here. Everything that you see, experience, the content of it is that, therefore it is the Antaryami. Why Antaryami? Because what is evident is not that Jnapti. You see only sun and moon and wall and children and people and emotions and concepts and all that. But you don't recognize that the content of it is Jnaptihi. Therefore it is Antaha. It is hidden. It is not evident, even though that is the content. Like we said last class, right? When you are watching a movie, we spoke about Nataka Deepa. When you are watching a drama, all the light is never recognized, but you are actually seeing light only, reflected light. Similarly, if you are watching a movie in a theater, you are actually seeing that white screen only. Actually, all the time you are seeing the screen. But what reflects on the screen is what you are focusing on. That there is an act, there is an actor, there is a hero, heroine, there is a fight. Is all that you are seeing, but actually you are seeing the white screen, that screen. But you never recognize that you are actually seeing that white screen. You think you have seen something, some act, but the content of the act is the screen. Similarly, all your experience is
This meeting is being recorded.
did we lose a lot of, how much time was it off? Can someone tell me? Seconds or minutes?
We were there and I never recognized the screen. We're talking about the movie and saying there is a lot of things that reflected on the screen, which I'm attracted to, but I never recognized the screen.
Okay. So I was saying it's the screen, though we are seeing the screen, we don't recognize, it is not evident that it is the screen that we are seeing, but we are seeing we think we see all the acts. It's very similar. All the time, it is the Jnapti Swarupa that you are actually seeing. But that is the only thing you actually don't see. You recognize everything else, which are not substantive. The substance is Jnapti only. Because, like I said, when I say sun, I am actually saying there is sun prajna. When I say there is moon, I am saying there is moon prajna. When I say I am seeing the wall, that means I have a prajna of sight of wall. So you are never away from, in any cognition, that cognition is never away from the content, which is the prajnapti. But because it is not evident to you, we say it is antaryami. It is indwelling. Yonihi sarvasya. It is also the cause of everything. It is from which everything is born. Even though there is no birth, prabhava apyayauhi bhutana. It is from which everything is born and unto which everything goes. What is coming and going? Like clay is the yoni for the pot. The pot is born out of clay and the pot goes back to clay. Is it ever born? Born means what? Clay should go and pot should have come. And pot is gone, clay has come means what? There should be no pot. Whatever was the pot shouldn't exist now. But no, it all through it was clay, clay, clay. You called it pot because there is a nama rupa. But it is, so what is the yoni here? It's not a parinami karana. It's only a vivarta karanam. Without undergoing any change, it is now the Jagat. With the Prajnana Ghana, which is in deep sleep, without undergoing any change, it is the waken, it is the dreamer. So it is Adhyasika Sambandha only. It is Mithya Bhuta Sambandha. Therefore, Shastra says it is Shayanaha Jagat Bibarti. It is like lying down without doing anything. It manifests as the world. That's why Bhagavan is shown as Ananta Shayana. Unendingly, he is just lying there. That's it. And from his Nabi, Brahma has come. Like he is just like a Sthanu only. Sthanu, like Ishvara is shown as Sthanu. Parameshwara. Shiva's another name is Sthanu, like a log of wood, just lying there. And it is the Shakti, which is Aparna in the Avyakrita, which becomes Kadamba Vanavasini and Pushpita Jagat. It is as though this Tanu is giving birth to the world without, it's a log of wood, which is already dead log. Like that, it's the same thing, only a Padmanabha. Padmanabha is this Brahmavastu without undergoing any change. Vivarta Karana. It is giving birth to Brahma, who is creating this whole Srishti. And all this Rishigana, everybody is sitting, seeing what is this, trying to understand, surrounding this Padmanabha. They are all there, and he is in Ananta Shayana supporting the whole Jagat. Sarvasya Yonihi, Prabhava, Apyaya, whatever, Antaryami, Sarveshwara, Sarvajna is all Prajnana Gana only. So what is Sarveshwara? Prajnana Gana, the deep sleep. What is Sarvajna? Prajnana Gana. Means it is deep sleep, Padmanabha. He is there. He is just his presence. The whole world is there. Yeshaha Antaryami, Yeshaha Yonihi Sarvasya. He doesn't have to stand up and do things because nothing is actually done. Prajna remains Prajna. Prajnanagana remains Prajnanagana. No change. But it's Swayam Jyotihi. Its light is what is seen as the Jagat. Like the screen. So when you recognize, then the whole drama becomes, the whole world becomes a bhushana, ornament. Like for Padmanabha, Mahavishnu. The whole thing is ornament, Vibhuti. Mahalakshmi, right? The whole world is Abhushana. It's like you're just watching a movie. You might cry when a scene comes which is emotional, but then you know it's a movie even when you are watching. It doesn't like touch your core in a way that it affects you in a big way, but you are enjoying even when there is a tragic scene in the movie. You may feel for it, but then you are enjoying the movie. Wow, how well this person acted, how nicely that emotion is depicted, because you are witnessing it, being away from it. That's how the world. So Padmanabha is like that. And once you recognize that, then the world is like that for you. That is mukti, liberation. Because you have recognized you are the Sarva Sakshi. And everything is, it's not that you are Sakshi to something which is happening, it is Sakshi that everything is Mithya Bhutam. There is no tangible reality to it. It's not that the movie is not running, but the movie is screen. That is the jnanam. Yeshahi surupavastaha sarveshwaraha. In essence, that is why surupa avastaha, swarupa avastaha sarveshwara. It is the content it is materially the sarveshwaraha. In its state, it is sarveshwaraha. Remaining what it is sarveshwaraha. Sadi daivikasya bheda jatasya sarvasya ishita. Na etasmad jati antara bhutaha anyeshamiva. There is no jati antaram. There is nothing other than it. Therefore, all the Veda Jata, all the manifold things that become evident to you as the whole world, like the earth and moon and sun and star, for that, the Ishita, what is this? I'm seeing some thing here. Anyway, so sorry. Okay. Ishita is this Swarupa, Prajnana Ghana. Prana bandhanam hi somya manaha iti shrutehe. The mind resolves in prana, which is Atma. Prana is Atma here. So all the manifestation resolves in the Sarupa. Manaha means the world, actually. The manifested world resolves in the Sarupa Jnapti only, if you look at it. Ayameva hi sarvasya sarva bhedavastaha jnata iti yeshaha sarvajnaha. Ayameva sarvasya jnata. This Jnapti only is obtained as the knower of everything, the content of everything. Sarva Vedavastaha. All the Vedas, every nuances is within the Jnapti only. Sarvajnaha. Sarvajnaha. Everything is known through this Jnapti. In fact, everything is this Jnapti. Therefore, Sarvajnaha. Not all the detail, but even knowing all the detail through that Upadhi, Ishvara Upadhi, it is the same Nyaha, Nyaptihi, which is knowing it. Upadhi Veda gives you a different kind of perception, but content is Prajnapti only. It is your own Surupa, the self-evident Surupa. Now you should not say what is the content which is there in that. It is your own self. What is self-evident? Everything else is evident to you. Your Swarupa alone is self-evident. You don't have anything else to light it up. Chakshusas chakshuhu shrotrasya shotram na anya drashta asti etasya. There is no other thing other than the seer. The content of the seer is the seer of all. There is nothing else which is seeing the seer. The seer's Swarupa is self-evident. Jyotisham api tad jyotihi. Anything that is lighted up to the Atmavastu, and it is the Atmavastu which pervades the lighted up world. Yeshaha antaryami antar anupravishya sarvesham bhutanam niyantapi yeshaha eva. It is the antaryami. Why? Because antaha anupravishya, having entered, having pervading all this, sarvesham bhutanam niyantapi. It is that which is making it niyanta, that which establishes, that which regulates, because it's the Swarupa. The life is the Jnapti only. Ataha eva yatoktam sabedam jagat prasuyate iti yeshaha yonihi sarvasya. Sabedam jagat prasuyate. So, like I said, it is not the Jnapti which is creating the world. We have to understand that. It's like it's not. That means then Jnapti should have the ability to, desire. Prajnapti, Brahmavastu, cannot desire. Because desire means what? Earlier that I didn't have this feeling, now I am having this feeling. Earlier I didn't perceive this world, now I am perceiving. So it's a vritti. The moment I say there is a desire, that means it's a vritti only. Desiring means a process within time. And Prajnapti alone, if it is there, where is the question of time and vritti, wanting to create the Jagat and all that? That all has to be part of the Upadhi only. Swarupa doesn't create, but it is the content. If it has to create, the whatever is creating, the Upadhi, it has to be lighted up by this Prajna. Unless it is lighted up by this Prajna, it cannot create. It's like electricity. Fan may spin, tube light may produce light, but it needs electricity. Think of it like that. The only problem here is you shouldn't think that Upadhi also is a separate reality. Unlike in the case of electricity, tube light, see, that is the problem with all these examples. Our mind will immediately think that the Jnapti goes into this Upadhi. Upadhi is like a material. It's not like that. Upadhi is also a vritti. Vritti means it has no reality by itself. So Upadhi is a mithya, and it's like a pot on the clay. So material, but this Upadhi is lighted up. So it's a way of saying that. Lighted up means it's not that it is inert and then there is a lighting up which happens. Its content is light here. Light as in awareness, consciousness. Ataha eva yatoktam sabedam jagat prasuyate. All this prasuti, birth, creation, world creation, the content is that prajnaptihi. Therefore, it is the yonihi sarvasya. It is the mother of all creation. Like the clay is the mother of the pot world. Yataha evam prabhavascha apyayascha prabhava apyayauhi bhutanam yeshaha eva. Therefore, from which everything is born. Yatova imani bhutani jayante. That from which all this is born. Therefore, yataha evam prabhavaha. From which everything is born, it is the jnaptihi. Apyayascha. unto which it all resolves. All these bhutas are born and resolve into that which is the prajnaptihi, prajnana ghana, mass of clay, as do the part. And again, because we say mass of clay, lump of clay, all that doesn't mean that this jnapti is an inert thing. We say material and all that, but not material. Material is what makes up this jagat, is what how we use the word material. In fact, it is the only non-inert substance which is available, which is the awareness, prajnaptihi. That is the material. There is no other material. Prajnapti is the material, and it is the desirer, and it is what is manifest as the jagat. So yeshaha sarveshwaraha, yeshaha sarvajnaha, yeshaha antaryami, yeshaha yonihi, sarvasya prabhava apyayauhi bhutanam. So it is both the material and the intelligent cause, incidental cause. It is a sarveshwara. It is the Sarvajna, it is the Antaryami, it is the Yoni. Here all it is shown as the maker, but it is the maker being the material also. Because Prabhava Apyayauhi Bhutanam. You can't say Apyayau. It is what resolves. Where does the material go? Unto oneself. Yatha Urnanabihi Srijate Grinnateja. Like a spider spins its web from itself and resolves it back into itself. This is one kind of spider which spins, and when you touch it, it just eats it and goes back up. Like that kind of a spider. From its own body, it is creating and it is resolving into itself. Because when we keep on saying clay and part, it will look like it is only inert material. But look at this, Shastra says, Urnanabhihi atashrijate. From itself it creates, unto itself it resolves. Like in our own, that's why this dream and deep sleep and waken is the example that Shastra uses. You are experiencing the waken and the dream and resolving it into deep sleep. There is no other material. What material is there? You are spinning the whole thing through your awareness only. And Ishvara also is spinning it through the same awareness. And all that content is Chitsava only, like we said in the last class. Chidambaram. All the covering is only Chit. Surupa is Chit. Covering is also Chit. That's why it's Chitambaram. It's Sabha also is Chit. The place you are dancing is Chit. And the dancer also is Chit. Chidakasha. The Akasha, like the space which pervades everything. All your experience is pervaded by Chit alone. Therefore, it's Sarveshwaraha, Sarvajnaha, Antaryami, Yonihi, everything is Chit, Chit, Chit. It is Chit all the way. The Prajnana Gana, which obtains in deep sleep as Chit alone, is what is there in every state of experience. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.